Not all natural remedies are safe or effective as we've been told. Some of them I've used for years until I realized they were doing more harm than good. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 popular herbal and natural remedies I've completely stopped using and what I now use instead. So if you've ever added oregano oil to everything, or if you have used apple cider vinegar like holy water, this video is for you. Starting with number 1, or oil of oregano. Now, overuse completely wrecked my gut and it took a long work to bring it back again. Let's start with oil of oregano. Yes, it's antibacterial. Yes, it fights off colds. But here's the truth, it doesn't discriminate. Over time, I noticed bloating, I noticed fatigue, I noticed weird food sensitivities start to creep in. I later found out that I had likely disrupted my gut microbiome. Oil of oregano is blunt force tool. So it kills bad bacteria, but it can also wipe out the good flora too if you use it long term. So here's what I do now. I reserve oil of oregano for short burst only, no more than 3 to 4 days. For everyday immune support, I now rotate milder herbs like thyme, elderberry, and garlic. Let's talk about number 2, which is apple cider vinegar. My animal paid the price for sure. Apple cider vinegar is everywhere, in shots, in gummies, in tonics, but no one talks about the acid erosion on your teeth and how it can worsen acid reflux for some people. And I was using apple cider vinegar daily in warm water, and my dentist noticed enamel thinning. And honestly, I wasn't feeling the miracle that everyone seems to claim anymore, just sensitivity and stomach cramps. So here's what I do now. I use aloe vera juice before meals to support digestion, or I even rotate with lemon water with a pinch of baking soda. It's less acidic, but it is still stimulating. Number 3 on the list is St. John's wort. It's dangerous when you mix it with other meds. Now, this one shocked me the most. St. John's wort is known for helping with mild depression or anxiety, but it has a major interaction with other medication, especially the ones to do with antidepressants, birth control, blood thinners, and pain meds. Even herbalists are very cautious with it. So what made me stop? A close friend of mine had a severe reaction to it, unfortunately, where she combined it with unknowingly with prescription meds, and this was enough for me. I did my own research and I realized not only does it interact with other meds, but it can also be quite addictive, the same with antidepressants. So I wanted something more relaxing and I wanted something that my body would not rely on if I decided to stop or pause. So here's what I do instead for my anxiety. Lemon balm and passion flower, amazing for calming support. Also rhodiola when I need energy and I need a mood balance as well. And I also try as much as possible to go on around 30 to 40 minutes daily walks. I also take magnesium. Both of these are game changers. Now let's talk about number 4, tea tree oil. Now it's not for everyone's skin. If you've known me here on the channel, I have dry sensitive skin. I'm also prone to rosacea, and I did have rosacea in my early teens. I also had a little bit of eczema as well on my hands, and I shared my journey with that on the channel, linked in the description box below, the playlist for the eczema and the rosacea. And tea tree oil is one of those fix everything oils, but it can also be a very strong skin irritant, especially for those who have dry, sensitive skin. I used to use it for blemishes. I used to use it for scalp care, but over time I developed red patches and I also developed severe dryness, and I could not explain what was going on. It was tea tree all along. So here's why I stopped. I stopped for 2 main reasons. Number 1 is it can disrupt skin barrier, especially if not diluted properly. And also for some, it can cause dermatitis flare-ups, which it did so for me. And it's also, once I started to learn more about essential oils, it was not the essential oil for me to use on my skin or hair. It's more for people who have oily skin, combination skin as well, oily scalp, that kind of thing. But then again, never use essential oils, whatever they were, without diluting them with a carrier oil and without doing a patch test first. So here's what I do instead. I use a chamomile hydrosol for gentle skin calming. If I don't have a chamomile hydrosol, I'll just simply make a calendula hydrosol, because both of these have gentle calming properties and they're perfect for dry, sensitive skin. If I don't have any of these, I use blue tansy diluted in jojoba oil or almond oil. And that's perfect. It's way gentler and it works beautifully as well. And my daughter also uses it, who has acne prone, oily skin. Now, with that being said, let's head to number 5, colon cleansers. The good intentions with bad results. And this one's really tough because I know how tempting it can be. We all want to reset after a sluggish week, but colon cleansers, especially those who have these really harsh teas, they can actually do more harm than good. They can strip your gut, they can lead to dehydration, and they can also disrupt digestive long term, or digestion, my apologies. Now, I tried one years ago. I tried a colon cleanse and I felt lighter for a day, but then came the cramping. Then came the fatigue, and then came the dependency on needing something to move my system. So, stopping all colon cleanses, here's what I do instead. I take daily chia and flax seeds for gentle fiber. I take a herb called triphala, which is an Ayurvedic blend that supports digestion without forcing elimination. And of course, lots of water and bitter greens. Recall is my favorite. So, as a bonus tip, not all natural is always safe. And here's what I learned the hard way: natural doesn't always mean safe. Herbs are powerful, oils are concentrated, and your body deserves the care. It does not deserve for you to confuse it or to rotate in between multiple herbs and oils all at the same time without just giving it time to monitor, to test, and see what works for you. Always make sure you don't rely on one specific herb or oil. Don't chase trends, and most importantly, listen to how your body responds. So if you still love herbal medicine, I just use it with more wisdom nowadays. If you've used any of these 5 remedies, or if you are rethinking them after this video, comment below and let's chat. Let also like this video to spread the word. If you learned anything new, subscribe to the Holistic Mom for more videos such as these. And if you want my free guides, Save Swaps for Risky Remedies, grab it in the description box below. It's available in PDF format. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. All the best.